Who are we? For those of you that don't know who we are, we produce the industry's best electrical wiring systems and components for OEM restoration, modified restoration, and custom and street rod applications. We're based in Belmar, New Jersey. It's a picture of our facility there. The upper left corner, our two co-founders, Frank Colonna and Michael Manning. Then we've got a group of us there at the SEMA show where we exhibit every year, and then another trade show that we've recently done. Our products that we produce are made in New Jersey, and literally right outside of our sales offices are where they're made. They're made right in our facility in New Jersey. Okay, our first main product line is called our Factory Fit product line. This is all GM based, and it's made from the original GM tooling and blueprints and molds that we've been able to acquire over the years. Currently, we offer over 10,000 part numbers in this product line. The thicker catalog that you have there in your bag is a snapshot of that product line. Basically, with this product line, you can order each individual harness instead of outfitting the entire vehicle. If you don't need to replace it all, you don't have to. If you look at one particular vehicle, there may be multiple options for one specific engine harness for one specific year, make, model. We have all of those available. We have one example here that, Scott, if you could pull this one up. Basically, what we have here is from our Factory Fit line. This is a shortened version of an engine and a front light harness connected to the bulkhead connector with the fuse panel that would mount on the other side of the firewall. If you take a look at it versus what would have come in the vehicle originally, it's an exact reproduction of it. Same color coding, same connectors, same amount of tape on the wire. Clips are in the same place. It's considered original, even though it's a reproduction. So this is going to fit into an application where someone's looking to do a stock or factory restoration. There's a lot of different beliefs as to what the term stock means, but this is truly stock. You're looking to replace it, replace exactly what was in the vehicle when it was made. With these, there is no cutting or crimping necessary with these harnesses. It's all plug and play. So because of that, the installation time is much shorter, and being a plug and play situation, the only instructions that you need for this would be the factory assembly manual. That's going to be your best companion for anything within the Factory Fit line. We do offer some modifications in this product line. If someone wants to go with HEI, we can modify the harnesses for that. An internally regulated alternator, or changing the position of the alternator from one side of the vehicle to the other. We can make those modifications within the Factory Fit product line. All right. Move on to the next one, which is our Classic Update series. In your paper-clipped handouts, there is one called What is a Classic Update Kit? That was written by our R&D manager, Don Bach, which will give you insight as to how these particular products are engineered. What they are is, if someone's looking to modify their vehicle and somewhat modernize it, this is a complete wiring solution in a box. So they are vehicle specific. We started with what we learned from the Factory Fit line with GM, and we've been able to incorporate that into these kits. So you get a lot of vehicle-specific components in these kits that you may not be able to get with other products that are available. So if you were to purchase a kit for a 69 Camaro, you're going to get probably about 70% of it will be terminated for you because we know where certain things have to go. We give extra long wire lengths to the front and rear so that you can route it in the stock location or custom route it to kind of hide it a little bit more. But we give you everything in the kit to be able to wire the car bumper to bumper. Most of the kits include switches. You'll have headlight, dimmer, and ignition switches included with many of the kits. Some of them also include wiper switches. And within this line, where the factory fit line was just GM, with the Classic Update series, we cover many of the same vehicles that we do with the factory fit line within the GM. But then we also produce kits for Ford, and we have a Mopar kit as well. On the back of that handout that says, what is a Classic Update kit, that gives you a complete list of the kits that we currently offer. Right now there are 40 of them. So it's continuously growing, and each year we probably release anywhere from 6 to 8 new kits within this product line. And we get the ideas for those kits that we're going to release from you, the public, our dealers, and people that walk up to us at trade shows. Hey, when are you going to release a kit for this? Well, we accumulate all of that feedback, and based on what you guys give us, that's how we determine what kits we're going to produce.
Your steering column doesn't have a forward flash or switch. How do you, do you show you how to, you can put a separate switch off of that?
Done.
The Classic Update kits, because of the fact that they're made to work with a later model steering column, they're already all pre-wired with the hazard flasher connection in there. On an OE application, like we were talking earlier, your car, those didn't have your steering column. If you use your stock steering column, you're going to have to come up with some type of a hazard switch because your column is not wired for a hazard switch. There is no other hazard switch in your car. So you would have to come up with some type of a hazard switch, and then yes, you could tie it into the steering column. But the harness is wired for hazards. If it's a car that would not normally have, yes.
These kits, being a complete wiring solution, they're set up in most cases to run stock gauge configurations or aftermarket gauge configurations. What we've incorporated that was designed by R&D is a gauge disconnect system, so you can wire up the gauges to, while they're on your workbench, to some disconnect connectors, and then put it in the dash and click it into the dash harness. So it makes for an easier installation. As far as the steering column connection, it comes with a GM steering column connection on the harness, but we give you a mating adapter, so regardless of the column you're using, in most cases you can clip the old connector off, put our mating connector on, and it ties right into our system.
Are you talking about?
Yeah, every one's different. The one that we use on all of ours is the 3 7/8 flat GM connector, and we give you the mate to that. That way, if you've got the twin lock antler or an instance of a Ford Mustang or a Ford truck or a Bronco, we our connector, you just click the connector and terminals off yours, and in every instance we give you a full map of what ours is and what the original Ford color was, and that way we know to make the white wire with blue stripe to the light blue wire or so on and
So
so forth.
you have an adapter from the horseshoe to your.
No, you got the connector off your column. We give you an adapter to put onto your column. You could get an adapter. You know, we do sell adapters separately, but I don't know that I would do that. You're better off. You have less of a chance of a connection. The more connections you stack, the more resistance issues you can have in the long run. It's easier just to cut yours off, put new terminals on, and plug it in.
All right, these kits are also set up with plenty of extra circuits, so like I said before, as far as modernizing them or modifying them, there's plenty of extra circuits to add power accessories to it. So power door locks, power windows, power seats, aftermarket air conditioning, things like that. There's circuits available within these kits to add that stuff without a problem. All of the kits do come with full color schematics and instructions, tabloid sized paper. It's easy to read. And later on in the presentation I'll show you where, if you lose your instructions or want to preview the instructions before you purchase a kit, they're available on our website for viewing or download. So we'll get to that in a little bit too. As far as the fuse panels, you'll notice with the Classic Update series, it's an auto fuse type setup, whereas the factory fit was the older style glass fuses. Really, if you look at the two, they're about the same size, but the main reason why GM and other manufacturers went to this style was more for real estate purposes. You know, using this style fuse, you can fit twice as many on the same panel as you would be able to with the glass fuses. So a lot of times we'll get questions from customers with the factory fit product line. You know, I really want the factory original stuff, but I want those blade fuses because they're better. They're not better. The only reason they moved to this is so they could fit more on one panel. So really one is not truly better than the other. That's why they did it. All right, the third product line that we have is our universal systems. These two, the Highway series, are part of that universal product line. And Scott's going to pass around, that's the Highway 15. There's also a Highway 22. Main difference between them is 22 circuits versus 15 circuits, but the 22 also has a 40 amp fan relay built onto the panel, where the 15 does not. With these being universal, there's no true vehicle-specific components in there, but it is a complete wiring solution for a vehicle. So you can wire the car bumper to bumper. It does come with headlight dimmer and ignition switches included. With these, they're not pre-wired, which means that most universal systems that you see out there have a trunk of wires already connected to the fuse panel, which kind of forces you to mount that under the dash. With these, they're not pre-wired, so you can really mount this wherever you want in the vehicle to a point. And you run the wires from the component back to the box instead of from the box out to the component. So with people doing true custom vehicles or vehicles where we don't have a classic update kit available for them, this has been a really popular kit to use. I think if you go out on the floor during this show, a lot of these high-end vehicles do use the Highway 22 just for that purpose. They get the mounting flexibility for the location of where they put it. They have plenty of circuits, but it's a bulletproof system. It's protected with a 175 amp mega fuse, which protects the entire system, more than enough coverage there. And like I said, being modular allows for fuse box mounting location flexibility. So you'll see a lot of people, if they don't put them under the dash, they'll put them under a seat, behind a seat. We do have a long wire trunk mount kit for this too. So in certain cases, you can actually mount this in the trunk and completely hide it. The connection system with this, it's easier to see as it's passed around, but there's a pocket screwdriver is all you need to connect it. You insert the wire into the side, pocket screwdriver, and tighten it down, and it has a cage clamp system that's as strong as it gets. It's vibration resistant, weather resistant, and basically what it does is you're slipping the wire underneath two plates with a screw running through it. And as you tighten the screw, one of the plates walks up at an angle until it locks in the threads on the screw, and you can't pull it out once you hand tighten it. So it's extremely resistant to vibration and weather. A very unique system that we are the only ones that use it right now.
With that system, when you cut back the wiring, the insulation and current, would you suggest soldering that end of that wire so the wire, doesn't come apart? I mean,
where it connects to the fuse panel or to the terminal?
Well, right to the fuse panel. You know how you...
No, you definitely don't want to do that. When you wiring, electricity doesn't run through the wire, it runs around the outside of it, around the outside of all the strands. What that does for you is when you put the wire in there, it flattens it out, spans it out, flattens it out. You get a total gas-free connection over there. If you solder that and make it a solid core wire, the only place you're going to get conductivity is on the top and on the bottom of those two radiuses. Everything else is going to be open to the air. That's the beauty of that system. It's a totally gas-free connection. You crank that down, it makes it tight, and you're all set. You definitely don't want to solder.
What's the price on those?
The 22 retail price, I believe, is $459, and the 15 is $369. And those are both in the color catalog that you have there too. Okay, also within the universal wiring systems, there's the Power Plus series and the Builder series. The Power Plus comes in a 13 circuit and a 20 circuit version. This is more of your typical universal system in the fact that it is a pre-wired box. It comes with headlight and dimmer switches. It doesn't come with an ignition switch. More of an economical type of universal system. You'll see a lot of people use these in street rods or early trucks where not a lot of circuits are required, especially for the Power Plus 13. But it is our least expensive kit that we offer is the Power Plus 13. The Builder 19 is another pre-wired system, but if you look at the fuse box there, it looks a little bit different than your typical auto fuse setup. It's a more compact system. It has a cover that has all the fuses labeled on the inside of the cover that snaps over. Not waterproof, but it is, a lot of people like it for dust and things like that. And we have incorporated that into some of the recent classic update kits that we've released for some trucks and the Bronco for that reason. That system does come with headlight, dimmer, and ignition switches, so it's more along the lines of the Highway series, but it's pre-wired, whereas the Highway series is a modular type system. So those are our three main product lines: the factory fit, the classic update, and the universal systems. Before I move on to some of the new products that we've released, does everybody have a pretty clear understanding of the difference between them all? We're good? Okay, perfect. Okay, during the last year, we've released a number of kits, and I'll just touch on the ones that we've released. They're also noted on the What is a Classic Update handout that you have. The 73 to 82 Chevy Truck Classic Update Kit. The significance of this one with this release is now within the factory fit product line of OEM harnesses and the Classic Update series, we cover Chevy trucks from 47 to 82. So regardless of the type of project that someone's going to work on for Chevy trucks, we've got it covered for OEM within the Classic Update series, and then worst case for a totally custom job, the Highway series would work as well. The next one that we released is the Ford truck from 67 to 72. We now cover Ford trucks from 53 to 56, and then 61 to 79. We have a small gap, and that's probably a kit that we'll work on within the next 12 months or so to fill that gap. We also have a separate kit for the 65 Impala and then one for 66 to 68. We now cover Impalas from 59 to 68. This was a new one for us. The 60 to 64 Falcon and 60 to 65 Comet are covered in one kit, and the 65 Falcon is covered in a separate kit. May seem strange on why we would break it out that way, but basically what we do is if 1 year in a range is going to have us add a component to that kit that's going to increase the cost, for everybody else that's doing 60 to 64 Falcon or 60 to 65 Comet, they're not going to use that same ignition switch in this case, which is different for the 65 Falcon. So we broke that out into a separate kit for that purpose. Just recently, we released the 66 to 7 Ford Fairlane and Mercury Comet Classic Update Kit. That's our first Fairlane kit. We do have a second one coming that you'll see in a few minutes within the next couple months. And just a couple weeks ago, we released the 68 to 72 Pontiac GTO Classic Update Kit. And that was our 40th kit release. And what we still have coming this year, some of this may change, but it's all based on demand and what our schedule looks like. But 74 to 81 Chevy Camaro, 69 Firebird, 62 to 65 Fairlane is definitely coming out probably in April. 63 to 7 Corvette, and then we are also in a very long development process for a Fox Body Mustang kit. If you check our website, Facebook page, you'll see updates as this schedule becomes a little more solidified. But these are the main projects that we have on the list right now. Okay, selecting the right product. Now that everybody has an understanding of the three main product lines that we offer, now it's a matter of either you or a customer of yours, depending on what your situation is, how they select the right product. If you look within your handouts, there's 2 pages in there. One's called Qualifying Your Customer, and one is called Product Line Snapshots. The Qualifying Your Customer sheet has a list of questions that you can ask or ask yourself to help you pinpoint what is the right choice for a wiring solution for your project. With factory fit, a lot of times you will get a customer that calls in and they say, yeah, I'm going to keep it stock. And stock is always in quotes because it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be stock, but it may look stock. And knowing that factory fit only covers GM, you may be able to eliminate the factory fit product line with the first question by asking, are you building a GM vehicle to factory specifications? If they are, continue on with the questioning for the factory fit product line. Are you installing the fuse box and all the wiring in the stock locations? If they are, or if you are, you're still probably within the factory fit product line. If the customer only intends on replacing some of the wiring, the only option really there is factory fit. A lot of times with factory original wiring, you'll see the wiring forward of the firewall goes first, exposed to the most weather and elements and heat. So sometimes people only need to replace those. You can do that within the factory fit product line. And is the customer making any modifications electrically? HEI, internally regulated alternator, moving the alternator from one side to the other. Those are still modifications, as I said earlier, that you can make within the factory fit product line. If the answers to those questions are yes, then that's the right choice for them. If it's no to any of those questions, you can move right on to the Classic Update series. Are you building a modified or a Pro Touring type vehicle? If they are, it's probably going to be a Classic Update kit if we have it available for their year, make, model specific. If not, you can move on to the universal questions. But basically, this will help you pinpoint what the right product line. Once you determine that, there's a big green number next to each series of questions. On the product line snapshots sheet, it has the same numbers, but then it gives you all the overview points and the main points that you want to cover when speaking to a customer about it so they can understand, okay, these are the features and benefits of the right product for me, and hopefully they can better understand, okay, this is the right wiring solution. The reason why this is going to be important is if you look at this slide, this will show, and it's a little conservative probably, but the amount of time to install each of these solutions. So while factory fit, if you do an entire vehicle with factory fit wiring, I'll just use a round number for an example. Let's say it's $1,100 to do the entire vehicle. A Classic Update kit for the same vehicle may only cost $550. But the amount of installation time is going to be considerably more for the Classic Update kit. So the point I'm trying to make here is while the customer may see $1,100 or $550 and think $550 is the right solution, price isn't going to be it. It's what are they doing with the vehicle? Are they truly keeping it stock or are they modifying it? The goal would be to put them in the right product line, but then also point out that doing an entire vehicle with factory fit wiring could take anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, let's say. Where if you do a Classic Update kit, it could take 20 to 30 hours or more, depending on how you're routing the wiring, the skill level of the person installing the kit, how many electrical components they're adding to the vehicle. So there's a lot more potential cost to the customer, either in time or money, depending on if they're installing it or paying someone to install it. And then the Highway series, now you've gotten even more universal, so everything is kind of wide open there. The installation time is going to be even more there, but the price continues to go down from the Classic Update series. So those are things for you and your customers or your customers to consider when choosing the right product. It's more about what are they doing with the vehicle, asking the right questions to make sure that you pinpoint the right product line, but then also helping them understand that the price tag on the product should not define what they want to do with their vehicle. It's what they want to do with their vehicle and then put them in the right product line. Is that clear to everybody? Makes sense? Thank you. Okay, so our website, AmericanAutowire.com. There's a lot of resources there for you, customers, anybody to use as far as finding out product information or using our technical resources. Within the website itself, there are 3 main ways to find products. There's a year, make, model search, which is pretty common in our industry now. Anybody that sells automotive parts, you can operate this way. What we've done with ours is if you create a login account and you put in a year, make, model, you can then save that to kind of a virtual garage, so you can list multiple vehicles there. And when you click on those, the only search results you'll get will pertain to that vehicle specifically. So it's kind of handy, if you're a shop owner or something like that and juggling multiple projects, you can log multiple vehicles in there. There's also a keyword search. If you know the part number and you just need more product information, you can enter it in that field. Or you can just, as it says, use keyword search. And then the third method is searching by the 3 main product lines that we talked about. You can click on any of those big boxes there and whittle down your search results from there. If you're kind of looking in general terms, that'll give you the broad stroke and then narrow it down by clicks and submenus there. Technical resources. The first method, call or email us. We, by far, have the industry's best tech support department. Donnie is a wealth of knowledge. He's our research and development manager, but we also have guys that answer the phones all day long, like Scott and others that we have that know our product inside and out, that will be glad to help you with any questions that you have about our products or trouble installing our products. They can help you troubleshoot things from time to time. We also have a very extensive frequently asked questions and tech tips section on our website. It's not your normal frequently asked questions like, what shipping method do you guys use? What are your hours of operation? We actually take the most popular real-world tech questions that people contact us with, and we put together a formal answer to those questions so that on the weekends, while you're working on your car and we're not at work, you can probably find the answer to your question within that archive section. There's the wiring kit instructions that I talked about earlier. If you click on that, you can put in the part number for whatever kit that you're looking for. You can view the instructions, print them, email them, whatever you want to do with them. We like to use it as a marketing tool. Our instructions are a lot different than everything else that's out there. So by looking at it in advance, you can probably determine, all right, do I have the wherewithal to do this myself? Do I need to hire someone to do this? And make your decision from there. But it will give you a good idea of what you're getting yourself into. Fourth is we have a video series that I'll touch on in a few minutes as well. And it's a tech tips section that we're adding videos to almost every other month now. For those frequently asked questions, we like to address those in video. It's one thing to talk to someone over the phone or read an answer on a website, but if you can physically see how someone solves the problem, we all know that makes it easier. So we're adding to that archive all the time. This is an example. If you were to go, you find the 69 Camaro Classic Update Kit on our website, and now you've got all the information. You want to see what the instructions look like. This is another avenue to get to it. You click on the instructions tab, and then everything listed below that is each individual instruction set within that kit. You choose the one that you want to take a look at. This is an example of the engine harness for the 69 Camaro Classic Update Kit. You can again, preview it, download it, print it, whatever you want to do with it, but this is an example of what you'll get. It's the same instruction sheet that comes in the box when you purchase the kit. And the tech tip section of our YouTube channel that I talked about, it's youtube.com/wiring harness. All of the videos that we've produced are here, but the tech tip section is the main one for technical resources. You'll see Donnie stars in a number of them. One of our owners, Michael Manning, appears in them, but we address a number of technical difficulties that people have or questions that they have. Our main video that has the most number of hits is proper crimping techniques, and schools use it, but it's a great video to watch if it's going to be your first time trying it, or just to answer some general questions about what's the right way to do it. We also have a Facebook page and a Twitter page. And for those of you that are into that type of thing, Facebook is probably the quickest way to get new information from us. We post things on our website all the time. Facebook, as you know, if you use it, is up to the minute live. So we post a lot of our videos, a lot of product photos, product announcements. If we run a sale or a promotion for our dealers, we promote it that way as well. And that incorporates into the newsletter that we have on our website too. You can put your email address in. We don't blast you with a bunch of spam, but every month we send out an update that has new product announcements, a product spotlight, a frequently asked question that we pick, and then we also go through our show schedule. We're not exhibiting at this particular show, but we do about 25 shows a year. We're through Good Guys, NSRA, Right Coast, and we go to these shows and we exhibit our product, answer questions, and then we have a number of dealers at those shows that sell our product for us. So that's it in a nutshell.